We go to our next story. Now, politics returns to the front burner, and specifically in Ekiti State, ahead of the June 18 governorship election there. The All Progressives Congress APC has conducted its governorship election primaries. Biodun Oyebanji, a former secretary to the state governor, Kayode Fayemi, polled 101,703 votes to beat other contenders in the race. Closest rival, Senator Okpayemi Bamidele, scored 760 votes, while Dayo Adeyeye polled 691. Now, the exercise was supervised by Governor Mohammed Badaru of Jigawa State, who was election committee chairman. Obviously, 7 of the contestants are aggrieved, but they have inalienable right to appeal the verdict. How much argument does one have against a fraud? The outcome was as predicted on the program last Tuesday. Let's go back. Let's take you back there.
In the case of the APC, there are 168,752 delegates. People eligible to vote. It's direct primaries, but this direct primary only card-carrying members of the party validated by the party. You can be card-carrying
after that
and not be validated. So only those validated by the party can vote. And it's already known, 168,752 people will vote. Former SSG Biodun Oyebanji, who is from Ikogosi. That's the candidate of beat.
Yes, that's the candidate
of the government.
When you see what we call the body perfume and the body language,
all the apparatus of the party,
and all the structures of government yielding for a particular aspirant, except you are new in politics and Nigerian democracy, he is there. He is obviously the man to beat.
Jide, but quickly, let's talk about it. We saw this coming. We saw the result coming.
Yes.
Is it a popular choice or the choice of the governor?
The choice of the governor, but the governor has found a way to get a lot of his supporters, a lot of his aides, a lot of the people who benefit from him one way or another at the grassroots and even at state level to support him. You know, governors create agencies, boards here and there. They service those agencies, yes. At the end of the day, that is what some people call structure. In a local government, for example, you see people that the governor has empowered, created all kinds of avenues by which those people can get maybe 60,000 per month and all that. Those ones will feel beholden to the governor. They will feel obligated to support him. If he brings a candidate, when the time comes, if he brings a candidate, they will support. You know, and when we are talking about this kind of primaries, the party ESCO at ward level, at local government level, they are always in the thick of action. They are the ones who mobilize at that level. And these are people installed by the governor. You know, so it's going to be difficult, and that was why over 2 days we said this guy was going to win. It's not a surprise at all.
Mayor, so we are not surprised that 7 other contenders are belly aching.
It's
we are not surprised.
It's understandable. In political contests, those who did not win will always have a reason for saying why they lost. But I don't know. The only person that I pity is Senator Bamidele, because Senator Bamidele, if you remember, got shot, though accidentally, during the campaign of Fayemi, and you would expect that Fayemi will want to pay him back by supporting him. But politics don't go that way. Politics is not about emotions.
There are calculations in politics.
It's not about emotion, it's about interest. And I know that Bamidele is very, because I know him very well. Senator Bamidele is somebody that has been in politics for a long time, you know. So he knows that it will be foolhardy for anybody to think that any governor worth his salt will not impose his own candidate when he's leaving. Because the structure is in his hands. Our governors, just like the president, is very powerful. So if he wants to take decisions, if he wants to influence who's going to be picked by the party, he's in a position to do so.
Yeah.
That is the way it works. There's nothing they can do about it. They just have to accept it. No, in our country. Because if you look at PDP had their own primaries too. Fayose was a former governor. His candidate won. You understand? His candidate won. Other people were complaining, even a former governor like Oni lost. But you see, when you have
those complaints are not tenable?
I don't think so. Okay. Why I'm saying I don't think so is that because that's the way it works. Not in Ekiti, not only in Ekiti, everywhere. That's the way it works. The person who is in charge of the structure in the state determines who wins primary election.
Otherwise, the captain here go cut waiting in one court to give you.
Yes.
And no quarrels. Jide, but at the end of the day, the people cannot beat their chest and say, look, this is the man we wanted. Again, it doesn't matter.
Sometimes people may not particularly like a candidate. It is the duty of the governor to sell that candidate to them. Fashola was not popular with politicians when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed chose him.
Absolutely.
I know that very well. They said, oh, he will not fly. Oh, he used to block access to the governor when he was chief of staff, this and that. But Asiwaju saw some qualities in him, and he felt he was the right person. Some people thought it would be Afikuyomi and all that. Asiwaju
so
said,
it doesn't work that way.
No, this is the person to get the job done.
No wonder we say in politics 2 times 2 is 22 and not 4.
So, and at the end of the day, despite his not having been involved in politics, despite him not popular with politicians who preferred one of their own, somebody who had been tested and all that amongst them, Asiwaju pushed hard and got the people to support him.
Behind him.
And he won the election and got re-elected on the basis of the work that he did and all that. So it is the duty. Not many people in Ekiti will say, oh, without primary support, for example, that Yebanji can win an election. The Faroches of this world, they are far more popular and all that. But when the governor stands beside you and he uses all the apparatchik of state to back you up, you start looking like a formidable candidate.
Yeah,
that's the way it works.
Sometimes I wonder about the brouhaha concerning direct primaries and indirect. The difference is the same.
No, the difference is not the same.
Okay.
It's not this. When you look at what Ekiti has done, the APC has done in Ekiti, it's far more participatory than what the PDP did. And it shows in the total number of votes cast, 168,000
to 600 and 700 and
168,000 participated in the election. For example, the other people is just a few thousand. Maybe I don't think they are even up to maybe maximum 3,000. I don't have the full figures, but
the man who came
that's
second
the nature of that's the nature of direct. Indirect election. It's delegates that will vote, and the delegates are usually picked. They are not usually many, but where you take the election to all the local governments. In the case of the PDP, there was a place where everybody converged and they voted. But the direct primary across the local governments and wards, elections were held. So it's far more participatory than the other one. It is not, therefore, they are not the same. Then the issue of who is an automatic delegate and who is statutory delegate is what also gets people worked up when we are talking about delegate election. In the case of the PDP, the Segun Onis of this world thought that special delegates people that they call special delegates will be able to vote. And if special delegates have been allowed to vote, more than 580 something of them will have taken part, will have been able to vote in that exercise. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the party decided that only statutory and automatic candidates will vote. So it worked for Fayose because it is the BC Kolaole was the chairman of the party before he resigned to contest, and the automatic candidates are the ESCOs at ward level and the state level.
Okay.
So you look at the number of wards in the state, more than 100 wards, and then the ESCO would most likely vote for the man who used to be their leader. So that was where he had the edge. The statutory delegates, those ones are people who have held political positions and all that. Those ones are usually not many. You can't compare them. Ekiti local government, for example, will have about 14 ESCO. So all 14 will vote in the election.
Mayor, but you know, at the end of the day, it's the elector who determines who carries the day, the voter.
Yes, absolutely, because this is just party primaries.
Yeah.
They're still going to go for general election. That is where people will decide, people will be able to have a say in who becomes their leader. This is just because within the party, I've always said it that it's not usually the best candidate that emerges. It's because it has to do with interest. It's somebody that's going to serve a particular interest that will probably emerge. That's why if you do local government election, for example, somebody in the neighborhood may defeat the professor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People know that the professor is brilliant. They know that, yes, but they are not used to him. They will prefer a man that they see in the neighborhood. That will not serve their interest. Yeah. So that's how it works. But it's about interest, and those that have been picked were those who serve interest, the particular interest within that state. But we will see the general election will be able to tell us who stands a better chance of winning the election.
All right, so we will patiently, that's for June, what date now? The election will be in June, I think 17 or so. So we are going to wait to see the outcome. Otherwise, we wish Ekiti well, or don't we? Wish Ekiti well.
And I wish the APC can resolve their crisis, and the losers will join the winner.
Yeah.
To present.
And sometimes you are wondering if these crises are a way of life in politics.
Yes, it is.
Okay. The way it is now,
they will always resolve.
The way it is now, they don't always resolve, Mayor.
Okay.
If they resolved in Adama, APC will now have lost the election.
Possible.
The same thing in Bauchi.
Yeah.
What they need to do is move fast. You saw what Ashwaju did before the election in Ondo.
Yeah.
He had to go there to reconcile the feuding parties, and people like Abraham were told, look, go and work with the governor, and at the end of the day, they were able to win the election. But if we let the crisis go on and they work against the party, chances are that they may lose the election.
The enemy, if so to speak, will carry the day.
Yes.
All right. That will just about do it regarding Ekiti State.